Now we're going to work on what I consider the most important module of the whole application, which is the work orders and estimates. It's probably where you'll spend the most of your time. So here is a list of the jobs or estimates that you've created, and the latest one is at the top. It kind of shows you the basic information that's good to know. I'm going to hit create new work order estimate. It presents you with this new blank estimate or from a template. Templates are great if you do the similar or same job over and over and over again, and you just need to save some time. You can call it from a template. But right now, we're going to create a blank estimate. And let's call this the Big Show. And the client is the Really Creative Ad Agency. Create it. Here you're presented with a blank estimate. And notice how it populated my name as the creator, and it goes ahead and defaults it to an estimate. The client that we chose earlier is populated here, and let's select a name. And if there's more than one contact at the company, all those names will present there, and you can search if it's a really big company. Right here is the project schedule. So there's a lot of things going on here. You may or may not know the schedule when you do the estimate, but just for the sake of learning how to use the application, the client has given us the schedule, and they've given us a lot of information. So I'm going to add a schedule day. And this presents us with a calendar that allows us to add one or several days all at the same time. So today is the 19th, as it's showing there, and it comes up with kind of a default time schedule. This is set in the settings on your account management tab, and the admin can go ahead and set these up if you like to have certain ones preset. That's fine. It's totally customizable. But we all know that the start and stop times of productions change often. But I happen to know that the production is going to be on the 20th and the 21st. So I also know that these times don't apply there. So I'm going to uncheck those, and it gives me starting and stopping times for each day that I've told it. So the first thing I'm going to do is it's really important to adjust the location call time first. And I know that that is going to start at 8 a.m. And I want you to carefully watch the office call time because it's going to change. So it jumps to 7 a.m., which is 1 hour in front of 8 a.m. And again, that can be changed in the admin panel. It's just whatever, you think is good for your locality. It also put the estimated location end time 10 hours after the start time. And the office end time is 1 hour after the location end time. And those can be adjustable. Those could be half an hour, they could be an hour, they could be, whatever you want. Now, on the second day of the production, I happen to know that they're going to get a little later start, and it's adjusting those times the same way, and apply those now. So here we have the basis of the schedule. Notice there's a daily status, a dress code, a location, 1, 2, and 3. And I happen to know a lot about this particular project going into it. The client was great about telling me. And so I'm going to go ahead and enter that information now. As you can see, the times are already there. The daily status, it's going to be a location production. The dress code, let's say it's show blacks. And then I happen to know that the location number 1 is our production office. And these locations that are popping up here are there because they either show up in the location manage tab, or they're persistent locations that are set in the admin panel. So these are locations that we often go to. So I'm going to select the production office as the first one. And then I'm going to select the Orange County Convention Center as the second one. And I'll go ahead and update that. You notice all that populates here. So let's go ahead and do the same for our second day. Basically, it's the same info. If it wasn't, you could change it, no problem. Boom. I will point out the Manage Locations button right here. And so you can put in new locations, the contact name. It might be John in the stage, or John at the loading dock, and relevant, instructions. These are persistent locations, so they're always going to be there. But locations are really based on the individual job, and they often change. The next area that we're going to look at is the crew. So let's add a crew member. This information is populated by the labor module. So we'll get to that later, but I've gone ahead and entered some labor categories. So we're going to have a camera operator. It instantly says needs assignment because we don't really know who that camera operator is going to be here. But if we did, we get a filtered view of all the great camera operators that we have in our database. They're right there, and they have a rating, and the highest rated come to the top. So generally, I would recommend putting the people that are on your staff as the highest rated, the 5, and so they always filter towards the top. We're actually going to have 2 camera operators, and we're going to have it for 2 days. And it kind of defaults to a 10-hour day. If your organization uses a different method, that's fine. You can put in a day rate if you don't want to declare it as a 10-hour, hourly, half day, 12-hour. Everybody's a little different, but those are kind of standard. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Then I'm going to add another person. Let's add an audio technician. If I can find them here. There we go. And again, there's going to be one of those, and they're going to be for 2 days. So this is a basic crew. We have a camera operator and an audio tech. You can go as complicated as you want, not a problem. So let's give them some equipment to work with. So let's add equipment. This pop-up is pulling from the inventory tab. And I have to say, there's some method to this madness, and it's using a filtering system of packages, kits, and equipment. Packages, which I'll get into all the detail here when we get into the inventory, but just to say a package is kind of the top level. So I'm going to choose a package and a camera, and it's going to give me some things to consider. So I'm going to look through my inventory, and right now I'm going to estimate an FX9, Sony FX9, and notice the generic. Okay, so in the estimate, I'm just going to use a generic. It's more of a placeholder that has the rate in there. And this rate is probably not your rate, and that's fine. But we're going to need 2 cameras because there's 2 operators, and they're going for 2 days. So, and if it was something else, you wanted to use a different unit, you can select it right there. But Dave's going to come up as the default. I'm going to add that. So now we have the basic estimate, very basic. You can get more complicated if you want. That's not a problem. So let's say you're going to send this off. So I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to go here and look at print options. There's a line item estimate. Your organization might not do that. It may do that. That's fine. It shows you the department and the camera operators. So there's 2 operators for 2 days. It's a 10-hour day. Their rate, an audio tech, just 1 for 2 days, and 2 camera packages. So it gives you kind of an idea. It'll populate with the client, your identity, the name of the show, and your address. The next print option is a work order for crews. And this basically is what you would give your crew when they're going out. It's showing the location addresses. It's showing the people, their positions, their cell phone numbers, their call time, where to go. And notice how this does not have any prices on it. So if you're hiring freelancers, they don't really need to get into all the financial details, right? We also have a proposal lump sum. And so for those that just want to send out prices, this is an option. It's a salutation that you can choose from. You can write in your own language. You can choose a lump sum or a breakout of labor and equipment, however you want to do it. And you can put in a expiration in there, and you can select what you want. You get the idea. And it also puts my signature in. I loaded that up into my profile on the company's area, and it puts it in there. So you can send that off. You can also save that as a draft if you want to compose it and then come back to it. The other option is the work order office. So this is kind of like the work order crew, but it includes all the costs. So this is what might be handed to accounting after it's all done. Now, the client has we've sent this off to the client. It's come back. It's been confirmed. That's great. So that changes to green. We've got everybody here. Now it's time to schedule them. And we have a couple of different options. If you are happy with all these people going to the production schedule up here, hit schedule all, and it will schedule them. But let's say Kevin is a freelancer and you don't want him to come into you want him to go right to the convention center. So let's do a custom schedule. So here shows the individuals and their individual days. You get the idea. So we're going to leave Bill there. We're going to leave Bill there. Mac's fine. And Kevin, we're going to have him come directly to the location. So let's just delete those and schedule him. Now we get an indication that they've all been scheduled for 2 days each. And just so as a reference, if you were to go up here and look at this, you're going to see 3 crew. Remember, we're waiting on the callback from Mac. Kevin's good to go, but he's coming into the convention center directly from home. Bill and Mac have to go to the office to pick up gear. Another thing that needs attention is that there is 2 camera packages, and notice how it's flashing generic here. Remember, I used generic in my inventory as just a placeholder for this kind of camera, because when you're bidding it, if you have 4 of these, you're not bidding specific ones, you're just bidding a generic item. So right here, we have a breakout that's similar to the crew breakout. So I'm going to go ahead and break that out. Boom. Now we have 1 on each line, but we need to go ahead and change it. We need to assign the actual item. So let's go down here, and we're going to assign the red package to that one, and we will assign the, what else? The green package. And these are unscheduled, so we'll go ahead and schedule them. Let's go ahead and just schedule all gear. One of the most popular items on this package is the call sheet. So let me show you what happens here. It generates a fairly standard looking call sheet, maybe not as complicated as some, but it gives you the pertinent information. It gives you the people, their names, their cell phone numbers. It also populates, if it knows Mac and Bill are going to the production office, it puts their location. If it knows that Kevin's going to the second location, which is the Orange County Convention Center, it puts that one. It also has a schedule down here of, it pulls this data from the job order that you've created. But let's say, you need to schedule lunch. And I'm going to put that at 12 noon. It auto reorders chronologically. So that's helpful for busy production coordinators. But here's the other options. I'm going to save these changes. There's send call sheet. You can download a PDF version. You can copy a link, so if you want to include it in an email. And then you can also attach documents to this call sheet. So often I get a call sheet and it has an aerial view of the venue with lines drawn on it, where to park, that kind of thing, which often go with the call sheet. But here's something that production coordinators, production managers are going to love. It's the send call sheet function. And if that person has an email and a cell phone, which I'm sure they probably do, you can choose to send them. So right now, Bill has an email in there, and I'm going to send it. Now, when Bill gets that call sheet on his phone, he's going to confirm it by hitting the green button. And then when we go back to here, it confirms his call time that he's responded to. So how many times have coordinators or production managers gone to bed wondering if everybody got the right time and can they confirm it? So I think that's a great feature. Another area that helps with scheduling here in the crew area, the crew table, is the calendar icon. So if I come down here to the calendar, I can schedule that individual person in a different, a different time frame. Very quick to, if you have a very large crew and you just need to adjust one person, that's a good place to go. And if that person has an email in their file, you can also send them a calendar invite. You can just send it there for the day. Remember, calendar invites, you need to email an invitation per day. You can't do it for all the days. So you have the ability to send it right there. Or if it's a large group and you want to send it out, anybody in here with an email in their file will be able to send to, and you can send them all at once.